Nobody throws a dwarf. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Berardi and Cook with myself, Smarty, and I'm joined today by a kind of half voiceless Gilly. Got a bit too excited yesterday, would you say, mate?
Yeah, a little bit.
We're going to fly through the victory at Elland Road versus Bristol City. So grab a brew and we'll see you in two.
Hi, this is Don Matteo, and you are listening to the Orta Know Better podcast. Let's do this.
You look like fucking Brolin, you're a Leeds eating bastard.
Look like some sort of fucking weird floating head. No.
You Tentle played a bit, innit?
I mean, I feel a bit right, dickhead. Nothing spectacular, really.
Nothing spectacular. However, it wasn't half bad, was it, yesterday? Another win on the fucking record for us. How are you getting on? How's your voice this morning?
I think I'm just about there, hoping I get through it. I don't know if you remember it. I think it was an advert for the Union, and there used to be an ant that was trying to get past a big animal, a hippo or something like that, and it'd come over and it'd go, excuse me. And then in the end, they shouted, get out of the way, and it jumps out. It might have been a bear. I don't know what it was, but I felt very much like that. And I was getting into arguments with Bryn and Gaz, and I was getting really angry, and I could only just hear myself squeaking, and it just wasn't right. You can't be squeaking and arguing.
So to give people a little bit of context, we got to the Peacock after the game last night, and we found each other, staring across the abyss, and we found each other. There's quite a decent group of us that meet up after the games and stuff out at Peacock. So I got there, and all of a sudden he just started squeaking at me. I went, "What's happened to you?" And by me squeak, like there was literally nothing there. So I said to him, "Are you going to be right for Berardi and Cook tomorrow? Because you might have to get out some sort of like whiteboard and start writing and communicating via text rather than speech." So how do you think the game went, mate?
On balance, I think we had more than enough of the game to get the result we wanted. I think there were. We were out for a curry afterwards. I don't often have a few beers at football. I'm normally driving, but we were out for a few beers afterwards. And so half time, Bren and I went downstairs to get some beers lined up, and I was in the queue underneath the cheese, and somebody turned around to it, and I was behind the telly that's closest to the bar. Somebody said they've scored. I'm like, no, they can't have done. I came down at like 45 minutes, and that was 5 minutes ago. It must be done by now. What do you mean they've scored? And 45 plus 7 minutes they've scored, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sake! But we had everything. I'll be honest. I thought they were one of the better sides that we faced so far this season. They at least tried to play football, and when we identified that they tried to play football, I said, well, I'm confident of 3 points now, because anybody doing that against us, we seem to fare better. And that was the way. I don't think they had much of the game. I don't think they posed us too many problems.
Oh, he may have gone there. I think we might have lost him. Are you there?
Hello?
Are you coming back? Oh, you are. We lost you for a second there, and I was like, oh, is he gone? Is it me? Is it you?
Just saying, on balance, I think that we did enough to get the 3 points, and it were a deserved win.
Yeah, I agree. In the first kind of 10 minutes, when they passed the ball around really, really well, and they were putting us under a fair bit of pressure, and I was quite impressed by it, to be honest. And but in the back of my mind, I always thought the teams that do, like you already alluded to, the teams that do kind of take it to us and try and play a decent football and try and actually go toe to toe with us. We seem to always get the better of, and obviously, after a short while, we went 1-0 up. A nice, a tidy little effort from Mr. Dan James. But yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one because, like you said, they were very good in the first, maybe even 10, 15 minutes. And then they started to, like we see, teams, they read themselves up for the first 10, 15 minutes or whatever, and then they seemed to die off a little bit. But they defended really, really well. They had kind of a back five with a bank of three sat in front of them, and we found it quite hard at times to obviously break them down and get something through. But get something through we did. Dan James slots a nice little left-footed beast through a group of bodies. How do you think Dan James felt today? Because I would have I would have probably rather have started Anthony, but you can't really knock Dan James's effort, and he does cause a lot of damage, and he does a lot of needless running around. To be honest, that's kind of what you want. That kind of it is, isn't it? Obviously, you've got people running off ball. If you've got one eye on Dan James, he's going, oh shit, he's going here and everywhere. It's an option, isn't it? You want someone that's as energetic as him, doing a lot of the dead work, a lot of the donkey work.
Yeah, so I think that is fair. He does get through a lot of effort. I think if you look at his stats, his output's at a good level. I think he is one of those real frustrating players that looks like he should be more effective than he is. He's got his goal. He did take it quite well. It was a difficult finish, and it was through several bodies, as you said.
Yeah.
When I was looking at the lineup, to be fair, we were trying to work out what the actual formation was going to be in the Peacock before the game. When we saw the players that had been picked, it wasn't immediately obvious. And we were like, are we going to 3 at the back? Is it going to be
That were my initial thoughts, actually.
It's one of the 3 centre backs, and playing with wing backs. What are we doing here? Is Ampadu going to slot in at the back? And it was unclear, really. And you're looking at that and thinking, well, if we're going to play a wing back, then that's probably Dan James. He's probably going to excel at that because he works hard enough for it, and he's going to have a bit more room to run into.
Yeah,
and other players can help him out while he's running. He
loves a tackle as well, doesn't he?
And he does love a tackle, and that you cannot fault his effort. That's one thing that you never can do. His quality on the ball is suspect at times, and his ability to make the right decisions at the right times is also.
Yeah,
but you certainly can't fault his endeavour.
No, I think overall they were quite a good set of performances yesterday. I can't really knock anyone. The highlight for me, the best of the best, has got to be Archie Gray. And to say that he slotted in at right back and did such a bloody good job, apparently against a very, very good Summit Bell. I can't remember his name. What's their winger's name? That apparently is absolutely fantastic. He pocketed him all game. He was just brilliant. Really, really, really good performance from Archie Gray. I mean, it's kind of a given now. We're just used to saying how great he is and how fantastic he plays. But again, a completely different position. I thought it was a completely different position, and he just excelled again. Showing these lads at 17 years old, how to go. Unreal.
Yeah. Sam Bell, I think his name, his full name.
Sam Bell.
So I think there's a lot to be said for both fullbacks. Because I think you also
we're going to come on
Sam Byram and
Byram were brilliant.
In the last 5 minutes, he's put a massive block in there and stopped a shot that looked on target. I was in line with it. It looked on target and a clear header off the line that Melier had flapped at and completely missed.
Did he try and punch it? Did he?
Yeah, I think so. It was that. I thought they did play very well. I think Archie grew into it. There were a couple of times where he didn't quite read it just right, but he's 17 and he's in a new position. That's absolutely not me knocking him. To play against the person that would have been identified as their danger man ahead of the game and to be in a position where he's come out of it having done absolutely nothing wrong at all. It speaks volumes about him, and I've seen a lot of people go, but no, sorry, no, not a lot of people. I've seen one person this morning go, he's not that good, and we've had better players. So I think we need to be realistic. I think there's always going to be detractors, whoever it is. But basically, this person would say, "Well, it's not Lufc Cook." It's like, but
what?
Just support him, and it doesn't matter about whether he's better or not than somebody else at the same age, does it? He's doing really well, and I don't think any more can be expected of him. So much kudos for him and his performance, and I think Byram on the other side was just as effective.
Yeah, no, I thought the defence were really, really good. Apart from the header, which at the end of the day, set pieces, it's one of them. You're never going to be 100% against set pieces, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, unfortunately, we're at half time, and I turned around to one of the lads. I said, it's either going to go one or two ways. This either they're going to be in the ascendancy now and just take it away, which I can't really see, or we're going to get his foot back into this and hopefully dominate, and that's what we did. We have a guy from the land down under. You'd be surprised to know that's looking cheeky and looking like he's ready to go. Are you ready to go? Give us a thumbs up if you are. There he goes. Matt's in the house. Let's bring him in and get his thoughts on the game. G'day, mate.
Hello.
How you doing?
All right. Yeah, good.
Are you well? Is it warm?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty warm at this
Whereabouts
time.
is it? Whereabouts is it? Is it Melbourne or Sydney that you are?
Sydney.
Yeah. Very good. So, did you watch the game?
Yeah.
Good. What time were you up in the morning to watch that then?
Oh, when was it? It started at 1 a.m., so not as bad.
That's not that bad then, is it? That's
No.
not too bad. It's better than getting up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning like a lot of people have to do. So give us your thoughts on the game then, mate. How did you get on?
I thought it was a good performance. I thought Archie Gray struggled at like the first 5-10 minutes, but then he grew into the game and absolutely did very well. Melia, I think, should catch a couple, but not really his fault. I think the corner, do you know like the corner they scored from? I don't think it's a corner. I think when he hits it, it comes off the their player and then goes out. So I don't think he hit Ampadu. I've seen the replay.
Oh, you mean the initial, build up? Yeah, I mean, well, it's there's a lot of shady decisions made by that referee yesterday, but it's just one of the things you've got to get used to. There were a couple of decent shouts for, I think, one a penalty and a couple of very, very strange tackles that were allowed to go unchallenged as well yesterday. I thought I don't really think the ref had an absolute howler, but again, we're just used to these fucking referees that are just putting in these mediocre performances for us. Who was your man at match then?
I had Dan James. I thought he did well on the wing, and he caused a lot of trouble. He had a couple of good crosses and like free kicks. He should maybe teach Somerville how to pass the ball.
Yeah,
because
holds.
Somerville holds it for a bit too long. Like in that game,
I was going to say the same. Yeah, sometimes he just takes too many touches, doesn't he? Seems to run himself ragged a little bit too much when he should release a ball area. But then again, he's a fucking great player, isn't he? Let's be honest. Yeah. Somerville. He's got to be up there with one of the best teams at Championship. I've seen some stuff around on Twitter yesterday. There were a few inclusions of Leeds players in people's best XIs of the Championship. Obviously, Ampadu's in there. I think Stroik's obviously being included as well. I can't remember who the other one was. But no, we've got a good crop of players coming through. And like you say, in the first 10 minutes, Archie Gray and others, seem to struggle. Not necessarily struggle. No, that's probably a bit harsh. Seem to take a while getting sort of up to the speed, I suppose. Get up to speed of the pace of the game and that. But overall, any highlights from the game that you want to talk about? Any moments? Anything special that sticks in your mind?
That was Dan James' first goal of the season, wasn't it? Was his first?
Ooh. You're asking questions.
Target.
Ooh.
That was his first goal, right? Because I'm pretty sure he didn't score before.
Yeah. If you're coming for statistics and all that sort of stuff, you're in the wrong fucking place, my friend.
I mean, it's too early for that anyway.
Fucking Sunday morning.
The Piro finish, he made it look so easy. It looks like he has like no power on it. He just kind of just hits it towards like a pass towards the corner. It's in.
That
sometimes it's effective though, isn't it?
Against Everton. Remember the days of Rafinha goal against Everton when we've been on top of them as well. It reminded me of that one. Just bending into bottom corner.
I mean, no one really had a bad performance. I think everyone played well. I mean, Rutter, I don't know how he misses that shot from the 2 yards.
Oh, mate. Honestly, mate. We'd be promoted already by now if Rutter could score.
No, I went on
Don't
Twitter
get him started on Rutter.
Yeah, I went on Twitter and no one was talking about it on Twitter. I'm like, okay.
Just imagine Bamford missing that.
Yeah, everyone would go for that. Even if
the world would have ended if Bamford missed that chance.
I mean, I saw people on
Twitter but we're
saying,
used to him. Go on, mate.
People on Twitter were like, "Oh, he had a good performance," and no one actually talked about the open miss. But if Bamford did that but had a good game, everyone would complain. So I guess
I think I'm not going to start Bamford bashing because I'm not, but he would have definitely missed that. He'd have probably tried to hit it with wrong foot as well, or he'd have made it probably a worse effort than Rutter did. I mean,
I don't think that's possible.
No, I definitely think it is. But Bamford does not fill me with any kind of confidence at all. When I saw him coming up pitch, I was like, oh, okay. It's not. I wasn't buzzing about it. It didn't give me chills or exciting. It was just like, Bamford's coming.
I mean, you could tell he doesn't have confidence because if he had confidence, he would have tried to chip the keeper when he got the ball near the end. I was like, just dink it.
I know. Well, I said that there were a glaring, massive open space on the keeper's right, his left. He's left-footed. I thought, I'm no professional footballer. Even I'd have tried to bend it round keeper that way. But, you know, who am I to say? But I hopefully Bamford's performance, not I'm saying it were a bad performance, but hopefully it puts to bed the arguments that some people have been having on social media that he, starting place, fuck right off, not a chance. Not while I have a hole in my ass does Patrick Bamford start for Leeds.
He's got a lot more work to do to work his way back into the lineup. He's he spent a long time out, and I think he's not match sharp. So I think him getting cameos in the way that he is now is letting him slowly and steadily build that sharpness up without putting any emphasis or requirement on him to get the goals, because he's good enough to score goals at this level. We absolutely know that, but he's good enough 2-3 years ago, and now he's got that fitness level and sharpness to regain.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good player to have around the lads. Obviously, we've discussed this, a fair few times. He's a good player to have as an inclusion within the squad. But like your Coopers, like your Aylin's, those are the guys that you need as backup now, rather than the people that are leading the way, because they are off the pace. It's a strange one, because you kind of feel loyal to the players and you don't want to start ripping into them. I think I said towards the beginning of the season that they're at the stage now where the performances that they'll be putting may hamper their icon status slightly. The mistakes that they might be making, it kind of like, I suppose, muckies the water with them, I suppose, a little bit. Where they think, these were great lads, they took us out of Championship into Premier League. They had an absolute shitter in Premier League, and now they're starting to have, kind of so-so performances in Championship. You kind of like, instead of talking about, Luke Ayling, fantastic right back, great servant for Leeds, Liam Cooper, captain, fantastic. It's now it's Liam Cooper and Luke Ayling, Yeah, thanks for all your efforts. Yeah, I can just imagine the tweet now, when they actually decide to leave the club or whatever, it'll be like, such and such, and there'll be people like, yeah, thanks for that. I don't ever want that for our old guard, as people call them. I don't want that. Apparently Click's coming back. I've heard rumours. Now,
so he always said that he wanted to get to 200. Is it 100?
The last 5,
something like that.
He wanted another 5 to take it to 200. In it, it's another 5 performances.
I mean, he scored another goal, didn't he? He scored another goal, didn't he?
Yeah. Is their season over now, MLS?
Did you see his tweet about Paddy and hoping he's?
Oh yeah, that was me. I tweeted at him and he tweeted back saying, "I hope Pad's okay."
Yeah. We're gonna say it with your tweet one. Yeah,
he's great,
but he's just unreal. I genuinely love that guy. In fact, I've got the. I'm gonna wear. In fact, I wore it. Me and Luke went on Not Another Leeds podcast on Friday night. We had a bit of a chat. We spent an hour with them on Friday, and it was a good crack actually. If you hadn't checked out Not Another Leeds podcast, I know obviously it's kind of a weird name or whatever, just like ours, but no, check them out. They're a great bunch, really really good, kind of similar sort of vibes to us. But I wore it on there. I love Click. I genuinely love Click. We should have statues of him as well. Just top. So
you don't want him to come back then?
No, I would. Yeah.
But you've just been making a point about the old guard should.
Yeah, but Click's good. Click's good though.
But that doesn't work, does it? Because at some point he's not going to be.
Stop trying to call me a fucking. Hey, steady. Steady. Whoa. Don't come at me.
And to be fair, Cooper's still our second best centre back.
I'm not saying that Click's going to. Well, that's debatable. I'm not saying that Click's going to come in and start, but I would like to see him again. Probably sit on bench and come on when we probably need him to. But I still think he could do a job. Just like I still think that Ayling can do a job to a degree. I think Cooper can do a job to a degree, but not as a starter. Like yesterday, we saw him come on later on in the game to kind of bolster our defence. That's the sort of thing that we need to be using these players for.
And I think
experience.
There's a lot of the shit that those players were getting, the responses that I were giving back were, it's not their fault, they're still our best option. The club should have done more to ensure that they weren't our best option by signing players that improved us overall. The amount of shit that Paddy gets, it's like, hang on a minute. the guy is trying his best. There's no getting away from that. He's doing everything that he can. He's physically trying his best. Every time he's on that pitch, I'm confident he's trying his best. His best wasn't good enough in the Premier League, but he was still trying his best. Mm-hmm. So you can't then criticise him for not being good enough if the only issue is that we've not signed better.
But we have signed better. We have Rutter and we have Pirot that are better than Bamford.
When we were in the Premier League.
Oh, sorry, yeah. No, totally agree.
We've not signed players that were better than him, but he's still getting all the shit.
People would say Rodrigo, but even though I'd still say Bamford's a better all-round player at that time. Rodrigo would score the goals, but performance-wise, he wasn't that great.
Well, I think we were better with them both on the pitch.
Yeah,
so he's not really a replacement anyway. But yeah, no. So it's difficult because then you look at Ayling, and in that very, very short cameo, Spence really impressed me, and I wanted to see more of him, and I did want him to make the start, and then he's immediately injured. So it is difficult, but it's one of those where even if you rate your Aylings and your Coopers and so on, they can't play every game anyway because this is a long old season, and I think it is important that we've got them numbers in the squad.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, we're not going to sit here and bash him because they've been good servants of the club, haven't they? You know, it's just that the whole Premier League thing. We just got the wrong players in at the wrong time. I mean, Rutter. When we bought Rutter, I mean, we're going to do these arguments to death, aren't we? You kind of start talking about it, but we should have bought someone who would have been more effective than Rutter when we bought him. You know, spending 29-30 million or whatever it was.
We needed a proven goal scorer at that time. That is exactly what we needed.
Yeah, we did, and we didn't get it. Luckily, it's paid dividends now, and he's absolutely ripping it up in the Championship, and hopefully that gives him the confidence, should we get promoted at some time, to crack on in Premier League.
We can get enough money for him when we go back up, and we can get rid of him.
Well, that's your opinion. That's fine. That's fine, Gilly. There'll be a bargain basement. There'll be a bargain basement bucket outside Elland Road with fucking Ayling Cooper and Bamford in it as well.
If he has a great season, it benefits my club. People like digging me out, going, what do you think now? And how he's playing well? It's like, well, if you're doing well,
oh yeah, you're not going to turn around and go, I'm absolutely fuming. I can't believe he's playing well. What a bastard! You know, like you said, we all want the best for the club, don't we? We've always got diverse opinions and that, and you know that's why it makes good for talking about it, because people bring different opinions to the fold, and we'll talk about it. Some you'll agree with, some you won't. You know, but that's football. You know. Yeah. No one ever agrees with everyone all the time, do they? And that, that's the beauty of football. What time is it over there now, Matt?
9 p.m.
9 p.m. on a Sunday. It's a school night. should be in Jimmy Jam. Jimmy Jam's getting ready for the big day tomorrow. Right, mate. Have you got anything else to say before I let you go?
Not really. No, just a good performance, and we finally got 2 wins in a row.
Yes.
Finally.
And we're still undefeated at Elland Road.
Yep.
Which is good. Which is good to move forward. Now we've got a shitty international break. Do we play Australia on Friday?
Not quite sure.
I think we do, you know.
In which sport? There's so much going on at the minute. I can't keep
track. Football.
There's Rugby Union World Cup. There's Cricket World Cup. There's Football International break. It's all going off.
I'm pretty certain we play Australia in the football on Friday. Could be wrong. Don't think I am.
Is it a proper game or a friendly?
No, it'd be friendly.
Friendly.
International match. England 7:45 versus Australia. There you go. Don't know what channel. Fuck knows. You watching it?
Probably. I mean, there's nothing else on.
Who are you cheering for?
Shut up.
Don't say it. Right, thanks for popping on, mate, and giving us your thoughts anyway. You take it easy,
Cheers,
mate.
Matt.
Cheers.
Cheers, Matt. Cheers, pal. Matt there from Sydney and the Australia. Good to have him on. It's always nice to get someone international on the podcast, isn't it?
It is. It's wonderful. And it never fails to amaze me the extent as to which we get listened to across the world.
Well, not just that, but obviously the global attraction of Leeds United, you know, it's just crazy, isn't it?
But we're helping them in that, aren't we?
Well, we try. Oh, he's gone again. We've got quite a decent reach of people. Gilly, whenever he decides to come back, he's got these like little statistics and all that sort of stuff that he pulls from all the data that's available via his special tools, and he tells us where we get downloaded and where we get seen and stuff. And it's literally, I don't think there's many countries that we're not present in, is there?
No. No, I think there's
It's
about
crazy.
30 left in the world.
That's just mad. Who the fuck wants to come and listen to us rambling on about Leeds United? It's just, honest to God. Any final thoughts then? It's been quite a brief, quick show. Oh, are you there?
I can't
you
hear
are
you.
there. Okay.
But it's dropping in and out, so I don't know what's going on because it's not actually telling me that I've got an issue with Wi-Fi, which it normally does.
Okay. Any final thoughts then?
Well, so I think we look at Farke and some of the comments that he's had in the media this week, and I think that we really, really needed at least one of those forward players to score a goal. And you know, he's in a position where he's saying, "I know my business," and I think that the players needed to go out and do their business on his behalf because that's a really strong marker to put down. In it is, I know what I'm doing. Stop asking me questions about my lineup and who I'm playing up front. Because what I'm doing is what I'm doing, and do you know what? Fair play. He's
I respect that.
So, yeah. Just the other bit, I don't know if you saw after the game. He was saying how at half time when they just conceded, he wanted to rant and rave and throw water bottles around. But then he said, "But the players don't need an over and emotional manager. They don't need that from me." So I kept that inside and I kept that calm. You just wondered if that is a Marsh dig.
Oh, I was literally going to say, do you reckon that shot's fired at Marsh? Yeah, probably.
I think it might be.
I think I can't remember who it was that shared a video of Marsh. You remember the whole brave tantrum that he did? Oh, they're scared.
Yeah.
They're scared. Why are they scared?
It was recorded by somebody behind the dugout on it.
Yeah. Why are they scared? And it's just like, fucking hell, thank fuck we're not under him anymore.
But at least somebody did actually say to him, "That's your fucking job. You go."
Yeah. There's a guy near the camera person that says that's your team. That's your job to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it wasn't the fact that they were scared. It was just the fact that they just weren't up to scratch. Were they? They were just crap in every aspect.
You know, the coaching wasn't in any way.
You know, there hardly was any coaching.
Exactly.
We've heard that he hardly coached them. It was all fucking good vibes, and the fitness levels were absolutely terrible. And you know, it's a bit of a hard pill to swallow, isn't it? When he was sat there and they were kind of digging out Bielsa for saying that they were overtrained and this, that, and the other, to go from one complete contrast to the other, it's like what? How can you slag off a guy that had the whole players, regardless of injuries, the fittest they will ever be in their professional careers, to bringing on Weston McKennie, who looks like he's just eaten 5 McDonald's before he's frigging started playing football. You know, it's just mad, isn't it? You know. Yeah,
absolutely. Getting rid of sleep pods and doing all of that. You know, he root and branch systematically dismantled what Bielsa had built, and what you were actually looking for is right. Okay, is there anybody in this world that can take what we've got and improve it? Because as fans, we were going, how are we going to get any better? How are we going to get any better without there just being significant investment in the squad, which Bielsa had already outlined? How are we going to get better? Now, I think in terms of being better than we were, I don't think we've quite got there yet, but I do now have the confidence that they are actually doing the right things. You can see that the fitness is there. You can see that there's all right. We conceded a goal late on in the first half, but you can see them driving and running through the entire game. And to me, it looks like, you know, you look at the way that Archie and Ampadu, Kamara, the way that they play in midfield, they're running through walls for him. And I think that's echoed around the entire side. And I think everybody's pulling for Farke. And that is what we needed. And there's none of that infighting. There's none of this leadership group either, I don't think.
Yeah.
Now, I think that really worked for Rodrigo, but I don't think it worked overall for the squad.
No. You're kind of making separate separate teams within a team, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, there's a clear divide there.
Than anything. Yeah,
exactly.
I think Farke's comments, he said the game should have been dead and buried at half time. I think he was right. You know, we spoke about the Rutamation and a couple of others, but we should have made that domination tell. And we didn't.
I think so.
And it was a bit of a sucker punch, but I think it's credit to Farke and to the players for coming out and playing the second half, having conceded in that way. Because you're right, it can. Yeah. It's one of those that can go one of two ways. But you know, again, we're in that position. So I went 3-1, and I did take a picture of the scoreboard because it said 3-1 on it. So I want my 5 points.
I can't remember what I went. I can't remember what I said.
It's on my other laptop, but I can have a look. But I think just the last point to make is he's right that the goal difference should have been better. You know, for me, we should have been 3-4-1 up going into that last 15 minutes, and it'd have been a lot more calm, a lot less chaotic, and
gets
I
tetchy
think
towards
that's
the
only
end,
us.
doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's only us getting worried of. There's only one. You know, they've not had much, but there's only one in it.
I think with that, like I said, we've had that much exposure to them kind of performances where, you know, even under Bielsa, when it starts going a little bit or getting a little bit airy towards the end of the game, you kind of have that little bit of apprehension where you think, oh Christ, I can just sense that they're going to score or they'll shithouse a goal, or, you know, it's one of them. But for the first time for a long time, I just feel confident with it in every single game, in every single situation. Like the defence, when we've got people attacking the defensive lines, I don't think, oh well, this is going to be a goal because we can't defend for shit. You know, we've got such a good band of players at the back now. Where I just think we're going to defend this and we'll do well here, and we usually end up absolutely fine. You know, they'll break down the play. The decision making for me, like the decision making in the Premier League, were just poor under Marsh, under Gracia, under Allardyce. You know, those little interchanges of play around defensively would leave you with your heart in your mouth more often than not. Whereas now it's just like there are times, I think, when it might have been Ampadu who played a ball across the box. He kind of cut inside and played a ball across the box, and I went, huh? But it was absolutely fine because on the other end of it were, I think, Archie Gray, and Archie Gray just you know whiffed away and off he goes. You know, he's such a good player, man. I don't ever get players' names on my shirts because I'm 37 years old and, you know, it's kind of a younger person sort of thing.
Other than you've got clicks on a shirt.
But I might, but it Kenwick shirt. Yeah. I mean, like, I've got one with Pearl I want back as well. I've got an AC Milan one, so, but I mean, like, you know, Leeds shirts and stuff. I won't want to walk around with that. So, but I think I might be tempted to. Then again,
what, for Gray?
Yeah, I might be. You know, before he buggers off at summer, some fucker comes in for him. I actually had a conversation in stands with lads. You know when Bellingham left Birmingham and they retired his shirt, and you kind of thought, how could you possibly think or value a player so much, especially a young lad, that you would retire his shirt and you would basically bless him, you know, like bow down to him as this kind of fucking messiah at such a young age. I'm not saying that we'll retire Archie Gray's shirt by any means, but I now understand.
2 weeks ago on a podcast.
I now understand. Do you know what I mean? I hold him in the same regard as think, fucking hell, this lad is going to go all the way. He's a special talent, and I totally appreciate it. I don't appreciate the fact that they retired his shirt. I think that's a stupid notion. But I understand that why they, you know, they felt so special about him. And because he is just a fucking great player as well. And Jude Bellingham's just an absolute.
Look at what he's doing. Yeah, I was just about to say that. You know, he's gone to Real Madrid and he's their best player. And that takes some doing.
And you've got Vinicius Junior there, who's arguably one of the best players in the world as well. He's outperforming him, and he's in Bellingham's shadow, isn't he now? You know.
Yeah, it's great for England. But
massive future prospect.
Yeah, so I think the weird thing is it's not even like it were a random youth player type kind of shirt number. I think it was number 7, wasn't it? Imagine retiring one of your first 11 shirts. I think so.
Because we're so factual on this podcast, I'm going to try and check. Bellingham.
Is you fact checking me?
Yeah, I know, but they wouldn't have retired.
I think it was
22.
Oh no, it's not 22. I'm wrong.
22. There you go.
There we go.
See, that's why we fact check this shit, because people say, "You talk fucking shit, you lot on there." I'm like, yeah, we do. That's our vibe. We talk shit, and then there you go. But everyone keeps fucking listening to us. It's just mental. Someone bumped into me at the Peacock and called me Smithy yesterday. That was nice of them.
I can't remember that. Hang on a minute. What's Archie Gray's number?
I want to say 20.
22.
Is it 22? Byram's 25, isn't he? Is he 22?
I think so. You can fact check that.
Oh, don't be fucking thinking so. Come on now. Fucking hell, that's 2 in 5 minutes.
No, hang on a minute. 2 guys in comments have already agreed with me. Simon Curley.
Is it 22? Sure thing, Archie Gray, number 22. Right, retire it.
There you go.
Fuck it. I'm all for it. We'll
Just hang on to him until Real Madrid are ready for him.
That's it. We'll have to write into board and say, listen, 22. You know, if you've got a decent prospect, a young lad at 22, get it retired. That's the done thing nowadays, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Parag. So yeah, some guy bumped into me and called me Smithy. Thank you for that. Expected me to know who he was. I'm like, I'm really sorry, I don't recognise who you are. You don't even know my name, mate, and you listen to our pod. Like, throw me a fucking bone here. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, nice guy.
He's probably watching this, so say hello.
He's probably, that's what I'm saying. Nice guy. Give me a fist bump. Seemed like you were having a good time anyway. This was just before I met up with you guys, but yeah, no, good game. Another win, hopefully.
Okay.
Good game. We'll be losing a few players to international duty now. I think they've let Archie Gray go to England as well, haven't they? This time
they have, yeah. He missed out on last one round because there was a question mark over his fitness, but he has gone.
Yeah, so we'll be losing Kamara and a few others. But yeah, so a good opportunity for Farke to get the players in and get some training under his belt and whatever else needed. We're just getting better each week, aren't we?
Yeah,
we are getting better each week.
He's instilling more of that getting his point across, getting his ideas into him, and I think this break is. There's been a couple of breaks, including this one, and I think it's well timed because it does give him additional time with the squad, even though we lose some of them. And I think the Norwich game's an important one because I think out of those that are in and around us at the moment, I think they're only 2 points behind us. I think that's an important one. We're away playing them, and then we're away against Stoke. And then we've got Dog Bothers at home. That's the next 3 games. And I think it's really important that we come off the international break and we get into that Norwich game and we steam into them right from the outset. So, yeah.
How did they get on yesterday? Did they win?
Oh, now you're asking.
Now I'm asking you for a question.
I can't remember. That's the one thing I didn't fucking check.
We have Norwich 1, Coventry City 1. Quite a few surprising.
Well as well.
QPR got dicked 4-0 by Blackburn.
Sunderland that's 4-0 at home by Middlesbrough. And good old Sam Greenwood scoring against Sunderland, which is where he came from.
That's his club as well, isn't it? Like it's. Yeah. Can you imagine going mental like he did, against your boyhood club? That's crazy. I'm all for that sort of shit housing, but it's kind of weird because it's your club you've scored against and you're going med.
Well, that's it. But, and we mentioned about just in the warm up before we came on, we mentioned about Preston who had been absolutely flying and have lost 3 out bounds. Got money for. It's an odd one, that one, but they've been spanked by Ipswich. Conceded 4 against Ipswich. It's
mad, isn't it? I've said a few times, excuse me, there's been people on Leicester that basically said that they've got the league wrapped up and it's theirs, everyone else is playing for second. It only takes a little blip. We've seen it time and time again with good teams, ours especially, our Christmas blips, consecutive seasons under Bielsa when we were in the Championship, where we were flying at the start and then had a blip and, made it bloody hard for ourselves. You look at Preston now and they've shit out. And they were doing so well, and it just all it takes is that little blip, that little question about any sort of aspect of their games, gives you a little question mark over their confidence going into stuff, and there you go. They end up starting losing games. It's going to happen to Leicester, and it will happen again to Ipswich. I mean, they've only lost 1 frigging game themselves. Ipswich are a brilliant team. We absolutely spanked them. L for Leeds, that's the one.
That's it.
So every team is beatable. We can beat everyone, although we will probably lose a few as well. And that's the thing. What people have got to bear in mind that people will beat us and we will have off days. Southampton's a perfect example.
Look, Southampton is a perfect example, and yet Rotherham went to theirs yesterday and got a draw.
Yeah.
It is an unpredictable league, and I think I think Leicester are quite heavily reliant on Vardy. I don't think we're reliant on individuals anymore. I think, even Ampadu, who's played so well and probably been my best player of the season so far, even him, we've got 3 midfielders. We're not solely reliant on him being available now. He's an important player to us. I think Rodon's an important player to us as well. Yeah. But we do have players for that position. It's not like it's squares into round holes and stuff. So it's that. It's a squad game, especially in such a long season. It's a heavy season in the Championship, and it is a long season. Vardy's 36, 37. I cannot see him. And coming off the back of a couple of seasons where he's had injury patches, so I cannot see him being available all season. And he's so important to them that, they will have a wobble. Everybody has a wobble. Those games over Christmas and New Year come thick and fast. I'm confident that there's going to be opportunities for other teams to take advantage of that. And you're just hopeful that we're in and around that mix.
Yeah, it'd be very, very nice. It'd be nice if if we could get a win against them and they kind of had a bit of a dip or a slump after that. That would be very, very nice, wouldn't it? But again, there's a good chance we could do a Leeds and we can end up having another dip, and it's one of them, like you say. But hopefully the cold weather will set in and Jamie Vardy's old bones will start to ache and he won't make it through the winter. Maybe not die. Obviously. Maybe not die. No, maybe not die. That might be a bit extreme. But if he could injure himself, that'd be just nice. Thanks.
I don't think he qualifies for the winter allowance yet.
Been rocking it out with a halogen heater. I'm just walking around with a heater blanket around him all the time. So yeah, plenty of some good fixtures coming up, and like I say, we've just got to make our team performances count, and that's all we got. If we just concentrate on ourselves, I think that's the main thing. Try not to. I mean, they always say though that these players they don't look at the table, but they do. They definitely do. I know full well. I've asked professionals that they do. Of course they do. But it's that they have to have that public image. Oh no, don't worry, we're not worried. Absolutely.
Each game at a time.
Yeah, do you do it the same when you're down at frigging bottom at league? Oh no, we're not worried. Fucking yeah, right, okay. You know what I mean? Bournemouth are in the shit.
Great, innit?
Aye. It's fucking honestly. I mean, it's only Bournemouth, and people say, "Oh, you're taking piss out of it. We're a small club, blah 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 blah." It's like, no, fuck off. You've set yourself up to be, fired at now. They've definitely, we're a Premier League team, you're not. I said, right, okay, that's absolutely fine. I quote tweeted one of their, I think it was their final result. We've been beaten, blah blah, 3-0 or whatever it was for Everton. I just quote tweeted a picture of Jadon Anthony scoring. And it's honestly, it's just so good. It's a shame that Everton seem to be doing better, and I know Jack Harrison scored yesterday. I've not watched any highlights or anything from Premier League or any other football. Actually, I've not seen anything. I might do it this morning. Well, after this,
I saw some highlights. I didn't see Everton one, but I saw the scrum. They brought on that Scotch fucker in the middle,
Scott McTominay.
Yeah, 87 minutes they brought him on, and he
Scott.
scored 2 in. He's got 2 in injury time.
We've got a group, and we've got a guy, Gaz, from Glasgow, and he keeps getting called Scotch, and he says, "I'm not a whiskey." I'm not a fucking whiskey. Will you leave me alone?
Scotch is a drink. Tea is a drink.
Scotch is a drink. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because we call. I mean, that's another one. That's another whole frigging. Is it a tea cake? Is it a bread roll argument? Do you have tea or dinner for your last meal? Hey, we're digressing.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else to talk about? Who's on the main show?
I think. Did you not
Tuesday?
say that I was? Am I hosting?
I think it's me, you, and Luke on Tuesday, I believe. Sorry, we've not flicked through any comments this morning. Gilly was supposed to start some.
Yeah, well, yeah,
but he's failed.
Sorry.
He's failed.
It's a bit early on a Sunday. I need another coffee.
It is, isn't it? It's only me and you that do early shows for B&C. Everyone else does them in like frigging late morning, afternoon time. It's whenever they can be asked to drag themselves out of bed. But no, thanks everyone for joining us anyway. I'm going to go and watch some highlights, probably not the EFL, maybe a little Premier League or whatever. I'll probably catch up with a couple of podcasts or whatever. Thanks you everyone for Scone or Scone. Here we go.
No.
I think
there's only one answer. There's only one answer, because if you don't get it right, the joke doesn't work. What's the fastest cake in the world?
Scone.
Scone. You can't say scone, can you?
Oh, scone. It's a fucking scone. No, I think the Southerners call them scones, don't they?
Yes. Yeah. And
but
don't get into which order you put your cream and your jam on.
No, we will. We will, because you've decided to bring it up. Which order? Like, everyone in comments quickly, because I was closing this off so very, very quickly. Because as per usual, we've gone on a frigging tangent now. What order do you put, if you're having a cream tea, what order do you put your jam and your cream on your scone?
So I've got an actual answer for you.
Go on then.
And the answer is it depends.
Oh, yeah.
Because it depends on whether you're using butter or not. Because if you're putting butter on it, you don't put cream on butter.
Yeah, butter as well. That's just ridiculous.
I mean, come on, it's a luxury item anyway. Butter, jam, cream. But if there's no butter, you put your cream and then your jam. There you go. You see.
That's strange. I'm very in the cream and jam only. I don't sex it up with a little bit of butter. That's not me. Yeah, do you know that Americans don't put butter on the sandwiches?
Do you know that they also don't have kettles?
What?
They don't have kettles.
What do you mean they don't have kettles?
They don't have kettles.
What, to boil water they don't have kettles?
Yeah, they just kettles.
What?
They just have them.
How do they fucking... What, do they put it on the stove?
Yeah. So their circuits are also we're 240 switched, aren't we? But theirs is 110. So they just kettles don't work right well, so they don't have them.
They all work. Are they all living on construction sites with 110 phase fucking flying around all over the place? What's going on there? They don't have. Do they have toasters?
Plans.
They have toasters and microwaves. Of course they have microwaves. I've seen that silly bitch making a frigging cup of tea from microwave. I mean, what's all that about? Anyway,
That's why, because they don't have kettles.
We're not going to go into the whole American versus British. Oh, you see this little squeaky voice thing? That is what he was like yesterday. Sounded like Marge Simpson on fucking Ket. Oh. Anyway, we're digressing. Anyway, we've digressed again. But yeah, sorry to the Americans. We'll try not to take the piss out of your cuisine, but I once saw your gravy, or what your version of gravy is, and it just completely turned my stomach. Anyway, again, thank you everyone for joining us or interacting with us in the comments. Myself, Gilly, and Luke will be back on Tuesday to discuss anything going forward. There is no another Berardi and Coke end of this week because it's international, so we've got Australia.
Yep.
We're playing the Aussies.
Thanks again.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us, and we will see you all on Tuesday. Take it easy. Have a good weekend.